Hey everyone, welcome to Tea Time. Thuy and Edith argue.
Again. Interesting.
Honestly, I think I probably asked you this before, but are there a lot of black pickleball players?
I don't see that many.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure there are, because I went to Juneteenth last year in South Carolina, and there was quite a lot, I must admit. But on the courts where I play, not so many.
Is it just because of the area that we live, the
Probably
demographic?
just because it's Sarasota.
Just
predominantly
wondering.
white, yeah.
I mean, all the other like activities and sports and stuff that you've done, you see like people who are dark play.
Yeah. Most of the sports, but
right.
Pickleball's just beginning, as you know, so
I guess
just to reach.
It's considered a newer sport.
Uh-huh.
Have you ever, though, honestly, you and we look like quite, I would say, an eclectic pair when we go around town and we're like hanging out and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
When you say, I mean, we're kind of like, I don't want to say like weird looking in that aspect, but like, oh, like look at them two. Like we look like a weird pairing, right? We're buddies, we're friends, but I don't know. I think like I've gotten people kind of like just kind of looking over at us, or maybe they're looking over because of the things that we talk about.
Maybe if they're overhearing certain silly things that we talk about, because we don't always talk sense, but that could be a reason. I don't know why.
People are asking me if I'm okay. They think like I'm in a hostage type of situation. Like, are you okay? Is she?
Do you need help?
I've had people ask me before.
When you're with me?
Yeah.
If you need help?
Yeah, because I think you're probably acting like all quirky, and they probably think you're getting all amped up and hyper.
I don't think it's that kind of help that I'm wondering. I think it's the other kind of help, which I ask you all the time. Do you need some help?
Yes.
Are you okay?
No.
Why? What's the matter?
Don't people give you like sometimes looks sometimes, or do they like make, preconceived judgments about maybe like your appearance?
The way I dress or the way I look as being a black person?
Both. I don't know. Or maybe even like your accent.
Definitely the accent, but
right?
That's only when I open my mouth. Sometimes the stares and saying off like you don't need to be talking to me kind of thing.
Oh.
But more than that, no.
Okay.
Not that I can recall.
Not that you can recall.
No.
You've chosen to block it out.
For some reason, I have. Not a thing comes to mind.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean,
I've had people. I remember one time I was with a friend. We went to a bar for some waffles and chicken and waffles, I believe it might have been a brunch. And we walk up the stairs, and there's on the TV, they've got like track and field, and there's a lot of athletes on the screen. So we're watching all these sports. There's a table in front of us, and these people, they just keep staring at us. And I'm getting a little offended, like they just keep staring. I'm wanting to know why, because like they stare over, I'll smile like hi, but nothing.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, you're being rude. You can't just stare at people without, it's rude.
Okay.
Do you have no manners?
Wait, well, who's staring at you? Was it like a guy?
If there were a group of people, there were male and females in this group, but there were two guys that I noticed that were staring. So I'm saying to my friend, I'm getting more and more irritated, and we decide to walk out of this place. We stand outside. She wants to go smoke a cigarette, so we walk outside. And when we're walking by, I say, I don't know if your mother ever taught you, but it's rude to stare, and continue to walk. And a few minutes later, one of them comes out and apologizes, and they say, oh, we were just comparing you to the people on the screen, saying that you could be doing what they're doing up there. I'm like, oh, thank you. That's very nice of you to say so.
Were the athletes on the screen, were they like black, or was it just because they thought you looked so fit?
I think it was because I looked fit.
Oh, okay. Well, I was going to say, like, my first thought was like maybe, you know, they wanted to like hit on you. Like that's why I asked if there was a guy.
Because beautiful?
I don't think so, but
you do.
Maybe they were tipsy because you said you were at a bar. But I thought like I thought that was maybe that's guys, sometimes they gawk, right?
Yeah.
And they just don't have the courage to approach. So in the meantime, they just stare.
Point taken.
So that's what I thought, maybe that's where you were going with it.
No.
But, so you're just like, sorry?
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe that's just
next
what he
time,
said.
say something. Don't just stare. Ask a question or say hello.
Right.
Yes. Yes. How about yourself? Any experiences like that?
I get people judging, like how I look all the time. And even more so when I don't say stuff. Because when I say stuff, you say like your accent, then people might make a comment, right? Like, oh, like, where are you from? Because of course you see or hear something different or unusual. People are curious, they're nosy, and they have to know, right? For no reason. They make no connection, and that's what kills me. So people, and I don't know why, that they feel it's okay, but they'll come up to me, and you know, I'm in the hospitality business, so I'm around people a lot. I have that occasion to be around people and around strangers. So they see what I look like, and they just start guessing. They just start saying, wait, let me guess. And I'm like, oh, here we go. That's how they start it. Or they might be like, so where are your parents from? They kind of like hint to it. I'm like, okay, I know where they're going. So, you know, I might say Boston just to kind of, whatever, just to be like a wise ass, right? And but where are they originally from? You know, and it's like, okay, here we go. And I'm like, should I or shouldn't I? Should I like even indulge in this crap? Should I give them my you know, life story to a total stranger? Yeah. So depending on how busy I am or my mood, I might say, oh, you know, yeah, I'm Vietnamese. Oh, okay, cool.
That's it?
Yeah.
Nothing else?
Right. So why did you want to know? Like at least you could be like, oh, I was just wondering because my brother-in-law, I have a friend who's Vietnamese, and then they can start maybe having a conversation. Maybe they know a few phrases, right? Yeah. It's 95.999. Like most of the time, just absolutely no correlation. That at least is kind of okay in the sense of like they let me answer. Like, where are you from? I don't know why, but most of the time they feel like they want to make it in game like that. They're so great at it that they can guess. That's when it's like so irritating. If I get questioned about where I'm from, first people will guess. They'll guess Australia. Okay. Africa, South Africa. Okay. And then I'll say England. And they'll say, England? Do you think you're lying? Do they have black people in England? And I'll be like, I'm from England. I was born in England. And then I'll go on to my parents are from Jamaica. Ah, Jamaica man. Okay, so, now you've got an accent. Now you speak, you know. Right. That's what I get. Isn't that ridiculous? And it's like, when I say like people try to guess, I'm serious when they're literally racking their brains trying to guess. And Vietnam is usually the last place they'll guess. They'll be like, Korea, China. I'll be like, no. I'll be like, do you want me to tell you? No. Thailand. It's like, what is the point of this? They would never come up to like a white guy. You should say, I'm from the Orient. Just someone said to me the other day, this is my friend, she actually said she was playing pickleball with a friend, and she said, I was talking to that woman over there, and she says, the Oriental lady. And then she said to me, can I say that? I said, well, you just said it. So, right. Where's the Orient? She's still like, oh. The Far Eastern lady. I'm from the East Coast. The very East Coast. No, I mean, I don't know what makes it okay for people to think that they can guess, though. They wouldn't go up to, like, say, a black guy and be like, let me guess. Zimbabwe. Right. Nigeria, like, and start guessing like just every African country they can think of. And meanwhile, he's like, yeah, I'm from Detroit. You know what I mean? It's like, why do they feel it's okay to like do that with like, say, an Asian person? I feel like it happens to Asians more often than not.
Possibly will.
I think so.
Does.
Again, there was like one time where the guy kind of made a connection, so there was a reason. Then he says like, oh yeah, no, I grew up with like Vietnamese people and the name Thuy. Like sometimes they don't know my name, but when they know it's Thuy, they hear like, oh, is that Thai or is that Vietnamese? Because there is a Thai name, Thuy. They spell it differently, right? But then he found out that, oh, my name is Thuy. He's like, is that Vietnamese? I'm like, yes. Cool. And then he kind of like said a few phrases. It was a horrible accent though, so I really couldn't hear what he was saying unless he told me. Didn't I just say, how are you? Oh, okay. Yeah, you did. Okay. Kind of.
But he tried.
Right. So at least there was a reason. Yes. But most of the time they ask me where I'm from and there's no like, why? So that satisfied your curiosity and that was it.
Yeah. Get me a gin and tonic, please.
I have
from Vietnam.
I have so many stories like regarding just, I don't know, like, what is it called? Like judgments? And this isn't like an episode about like, say, like racism or something, right? But it's just like how people just are quick to just make these
assumptions
about things. I think I surprise people when they don't know me and I go to say something and I don't have an accent meaning a broken English accent.
Yeah,
they're surprised. So I don't know what the look is or what they're assuming, but one of the things, I guess like one of the stories I have to share with like assumptions or whatever was, this is like an extreme version, but I don't think I've ever told you this one. Back when I was working at Patrick's, the old location, right? I was just starting out also with like interpreting, and I guess somebody got word of like, oh yeah, that I do interpreting and stuff like that. And one day it was like the lunch hour rush was over, so the bar was kind of like empty, and this older woman, I'm talking like late 70s, maybe early 80s, came in and she had like a stack full of papers in her arm, manila envelopes and just whatever, right? She comes in and she slams it on the bar. She goes, I'm looking for Thai? And I'm like, oh, she's asking for me. She's Thuy, right? Because people get my name mixed up. So I go, I'm Thuy. And then I'm wondering like, who is this? She goes, well, I was told that someone could help me with these documents right here. And she goes on to tell me that she had come across, she didn't say inherited, but she had come across some real estate in Thailand, and that there was someone who could help her with the paperwork, interpreting it and translating the documents. And I said, I'm Vietnamese. I can't help you with that if that's who you're looking for. If they thought that I was Thai, they're mistaken. She's like, no, they said that you're Thai. And I said, my name is Thuy, but I'm Vietnamese. And she's like, well, isn't that the same thing? Honest to God, I can't even make it up. I go, no, Vietnamese and Thai are two different languages. And she goes, don't you speak the same thing? So she thought the countries were the same, the language was the same. I mean, I can't even make this up. And I said, no, it's not. She's like, isn't it close? I said, ma'am, there's a Thai restaurant like 2 blocks down from here. Maybe that's a good start. I mean, I was actually nice enough to give her
directions,
some recommendation, like an idea, because I was kind of a little bit irked at that time, just because like, how ignorant can you be? Even after I said it, she kept kind of going like, are you sure? Almost as if like, yeah, you know what? You're right. It's the same.
Yeah, just give me your papers.
I'm kidding.
I'll check those out for you.
Yeah, I'll just charge you $500 an hour like a lawyer. I'll get a retainer. That's ridiculous. Is it the same thing?
It's close though, right?
Like it's maybe a half inch away on the map. It's close. No, Thailand, Vietnam.
People are ignorant. That's the word.
Right.
That's the word.
Oh man.
Some are just dumb.
But even when you try,
another word.
But even when you try to share and sort of like let them know, they're still almost like skeptical. Like I'm lying. Like what am I trying to cover up or hide.
You want my house in Thailand?
Yeah. I'm going to put it in my name. I redo all her paperwork and it's in my name. She didn't even say thanks. If I can remember, she was almost like indignant because I didn't really like help her. And then she just kind of took her papers and then...
You're not from Thailand. Oh, what good are you?
Right.
Thanks a lot.
Sorry.
Let me just pick up all my belongings and head north.
Sorry, I was born Vietnamese. Sorry, I wasn't the country that you were wishing for. It was ridiculous. Yeah. But, you know, the other sort of observation I've made over the years is when I go into, like, say, a regular store, you know, grocery store or whatever, for the most part, if I'm not, like, talking, if I'm not whatever, people, I don't know because I'm not, like, surveying every single person I come across, but I would think that most people probably think that I don't maybe speak the language as much. They might, like, talk to me when they do talk to me, maybe a little bit slower or something, as if I'm trying to
understand what they're saying.
Yes, like I'm trying to listen to their English, right? But the reverse is when I go into like a Vietnamese grocery store, which I go, you know, like pretty often, whether I'm like in St. Pete or Tampa or even around here. I'll go in and they assume that I'm like Americanized, so they start talking to me in broken English, thinking I don't speak the language. So I kind of surprise them when I like say, I'll ask like, how much is this? Or I say, oh, does it have meat in it? Or blah, blah, blah. I ask some questions and like, oh, you're Vietnamese? Or, oh, you speak Vietnamese? You know, and it's like, yeah. And then the funny part is sometimes I continue to speak in Vietnamese, interacting, like giving them money or whatever. And they continue to answer me in broken English. Is that a phrase? But,
no.
Like, what is it that makes me maybe like look Americanized versus not? Like, why would a Vietnamese person assume that I don't speak it?
Well, is Daniel usually with you when you go shopping?
No. But I could see how that would maybe make a difference. Sure. Yeah, it's usually just myself. So I don't know if there's a look.
Vibe.
Why?
It's just your vibe. It's weird.
How I carry myself?
Yes.
Oh, come on.
Carry yourself different.
Then
more Vietnamese like. Be more Vietnamese like.
How? What the heck? Be more Vietnamese. That's weird.
Yeah. Well, people are weird. They do silly things like that. They'll ask dumb questions. Like, I'll tell them sometimes I'm from Alabama after they've heard me speak. They'll say, oh, where are you from? I'll say Alabama. And they'll be like, whereabouts? I'll say Lower Alabama. L.A. Lower Alabama. What?
But here's the thing. When people ask you like stuff like that, again, is it just to like see like preconceived notions all the time? And I don't know, it might just be like maybe when they grew up, wherever they grew up, maybe they just weren't exposed to different people.
No.
Different backgrounds, you know?
No. Depends on who you are actually, who's talking to you, the age group, you know. Things were different back in the day.
You think so?
Yeah. Well, I don't like I know when I grew up in my school, in my year, my school, I was the only black kid in our school. Okay. For the longest until another girl came, Helena. That was in my year though.
But how many kids were in your school or in your class?
In the class, there's like 30 kids in a class, right?
Okay.
Yeah. And you've got 4 year groups in that school.
Right.
Many different classes. I mean, in my brother, obviously, him and his buddy, there must have been maybe six black families in our area when I grew up.
And it's a big area? Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Else were pretty big, yeah.
So were you like a huge novelty, so to speak, in school? Like, was it a private school?
Not when a private school, a public school, but by the time I got to the school, because obviously I've got 5 siblings, they went there before me, so the teachers knew me. Some of the kids did because they had siblings at the schools too. So
right.
So yeah, I wasn't a novelty.
Well,
I wasn't Tolkien.
I didn't know if you were like a novelty within your class even.
No, I can't say so.
Really?
No.
Okay.
No.
I was the only Asian kid in my school growing up, but I wasn't like a big school either. And my class was only like 20-something kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it wasn't, but it was a private
Did people
school.
Stay away from you?
Not really.
No.
But they did like look at me weird because I would bring like weird things to lunch, you know, because it was like, oh, what is that? Like I'd bring like meat and eggs and rice, and then like, what are you talking about?
With the peanut butter and jelly.
They just thought like the stuff I ate was weird, and they would ask me questions about that, or like some of the stuff like practices and stuff weren't like what they were used to. Like for instance, like I couldn't hang out with them after school because it was just so. You just hang out with your family. You don't hang out with like other people. Why would you want to hang out with other people? And they would just think that was like, okay, that's weird. But yeah, the foods that I would bring and stuff like that. We have this practice too, where like when you're like sick and stuff, you take like a coin and you have like medicated oil and you kind of rub it on your back and even like on your chest, and it kind of helps open up your airways, almost like tiger balm type of thing. And I think I was changing for like gym or something one time, and they saw like these red marks on my back, and they'd be like, what? Does your grandma beat you? Like just stuff like that. I'm like, no. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like she helped me get better. Like, you know, but it looked like she like beat me, like whipped me, but it would look like all red and stuff because she was using the coin to rub the medicated oil into my skin. Right. Just stuff like that. But no, I was like, I was only Asian for like a long time until like 7th grade. It's like another family that came in.
7th grade, like 13, 14?
Like, yeah, for me it was like 12. 12. But it was, yeah. I have like so many like stories like that. Oh, and then like it's suburbia America back in like the early 80s. You know what I mean? I don't think there was like that many Asians.
No.
Forget about Vietnamese, just Asians in that like suburban neighborhood for like a long time. So going to church, just to the grocery store, you know what I mean? People would just kind of look at us. They would just be like, oh, kind of. Just look and stare.
Yeah.
And I lived like maybe like 2 miles away from school. I remember like, I don't know, I was like younger. And maybe like I was walking with my brother Long. And, you know, 2 miles now, it's like you can't even get kids to like walk to the car, right? They're just like so lazy. But we walked back and forth like 2 miles with our little backpacks and whatever. And we walked to school. And I remember like one time the opposite side of the road, like maybe I was like walking home on my way home, and these like there were white kids, but there's like maybe like 3 or 4 white kids on the other side of the road, about like our size, maybe a little bit older. But they started making noises and sounds. They were like ching chang chong, like that. And I'm like, what? I remember thinking like as a kid, like, are you kidding me? And then I remember kind of like pulling my brother a little bit closer, like what are they gonna do? Like, are they, you know, because I was like ready to fight. Right. I was ready to be like, oh okay. Even at that age, I knew that they were like making fun of us and stuff. So I'm like, we're not Chinese. What the hell are they doing and saying? And what were they hoping to get out of that? I know they were just kids, but that's so stupid. So, yeah. Luckily for them, they didn't cross the street because they would have gotten a taste of knuckle sandwich. But anyways, I mean, I wonder how many of our people like listening, just like, you know, if they've had their share of things like that.
Anybody with an accent,
right,
pretty much would get that from people.
Or anybody that looks different.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you have an accent, but if you're in England, then you don't have an accent. And if we were in England, they'd be looking at me and being like, where are you from? Because then I'm the one that talks funny, right?
Right. I Everybody talks funny over here.
Wherever Edith and I go, it looks like she's the one who is from here, the American, and I'm the foreigner. But meanwhile, it's the reverse.
It's total opposite.
Born and raised in America.
I am a foreigner.
Yes. So, I don't know. It'd be cool to listen to everybody's take on this. Maybe, like, if you have, like, a story to share, please feel free to chime in. Write to Edith.
At
Edith at teatime.com.
.uk.
Right.
Yeah.
But thanks so much for joining us. We hope you maybe got a little bit enlightened. Maybe not. Maybe we're just entertained. But thanks for listening in.
You can find us at Spotify, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, any other social media platforms that you choose.
Yes. That you choose. Any
that we're on.
Yes. Go. That was good. Say it again.
YouTube, Spotify, Twitter, any other major media social platforms that you may find yourself or us on.
You could find us on any major listening platforms. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.